You're watching SKST Radio.
Well, hello and welcome to SKST Radio. I'm Cammie Grayson, and you tuned into One-on-One Entertainment with Cammie Grayson and Friends. And we have my co-host over there, Miss Aisha from Dallas, Texas. Hey,
Hello.
and we have a special guest, Mr. Matthew Goodhue.
Goodhue.
I said it right before.
You did. You got it right.
I knew I was going to do that. I'm so sorry.
Not a problem. Very nice to meet you both.
Thank
you for having me.
Well,
So Matthew, come on, you just made this cool movie. You're hot. The movie's hot. Tell us about you. Come on, give us your life story.
Man.
We want to hear it
what
all.
do we got? Yeah, I grew up in Massachusetts. I have three brothers, so we were constantly beating each other up and fighting. And I think a way for my parents to get us to chill out for a little bit was to put movies on. So movies were a big part of growing up. And because I had older brothers, I think I was also introduced to some movies that I probably shouldn't have seen at a younger age. Like I remember seeing Scream at a really young age, and Silence of the Lambs, and getting so freaked out at watching those like down in the basement, because everyone in Massachusetts has a basement.
Okay.
But also very much enjoying the feeling of being frightened. So, growing up in Massachusetts, making movies wasn't really a thing that I knew to pursue.
Mm-hmm.
We had, home video camcorders and stuff. So we would film little weird movies here and there, but nothing was like actually edited or shown anywhere. It was just kind of fooling around with the camera. But I went to school in Boston to study English at Boston University. It's basically to study English because I had no idea what I wanted to do. I liked to read. I liked philosophy. I liked thinking about stuff and writing, but I didn't really know where I could apply that. And then I took a film course and was just kind of introduced to how you can think about and talk about movies in a much different way, other than like, oh yeah, that was good, or that was bad, or
Right.
that one was funny. It was like, oh man, there's like meaning behind the colors of the scene. There's meaning behind why the camera was placed there and not placed there. And you also just get introduced to so many different types of movies that you might not get the chance to see if you're just, going to the movie theater every few weeks. So I kind of transferring from the arts and sciences school into the film school, and it gave me, I learned production experience through that, working on student films and trying to just learn how to use a camera and whatnot. And it brought me to Los Angeles, where I interned and got my first gig at a production company.
Okay.
Answering the phone and filling the refrigerator and trying to stay out of people's way. But there were some really awesome people there, and I was just able to really learn from everybody and kind of get the scope of like how a production works, from writing a treatment to winning a job. And a lot of the work was like commercial music video stuff. But I just kind of got the understanding and the experience as to like how you could actually make something. And after doing that work, it kind of was itching at me as to, I moved out here because I love movies. I'm staying busy working, which is important because you got to pay rent and whatnot. But
and it's expensive there too.
It's expensive. Yeah, it's expensive. And I've been lucky that I've been able to keep chugging along. But a lot of the work I was first doing wasn't super creative on my end. I was, as we said, I was just kind of making sure nobody didn't have coffee. So it just got to the point where I had to kind of start making my own stuff. And a lot of my friends are musicians, so I was fortunate enough to kind of convince them to let me make some music videos, and music videos seem to kind of naturally progress into short films. and we made a couple short films. And the crew that I worked with, we had a really good time. And two of the actors, Adam Helferty and Ryan Katner, who were in that short film, are in Whoa in this first feature. And we just had a really great time working together and wanted to, do something else after this. And the idea of making a feature instead of another short was essentially just because we figured why wait, like we had a few ideas, we had a few concepts. I kind of went away and started writing, and it just evolved and grew into a much bigger thing than we initially anticipated. And we just kind of got to the point of like, okay, we could make another short, we could make another music video, or why don't we see how this goes? And we want to make feature films, so let's try to kind of take the plunge and commit to it. And so I kind of had to take a job to save a little bit of money so we could try to make this thing. And we ended up making it in 13 days, which is pretty fast for a feature.
Wow.
But for me, it was like the longest I got to be, working on one isolated project in terms of production. So it was exciting. And like those two actors and a lot of the crew, they like stuck with me. It was my first film. So, there's a lot of anxiety going into that, but we had a really good team of people that came together to make it happen.
That is cool. That is cool. Well, do you mind if I show the world the trailer?
Go for it. Yeah.
All right. Let's see if we can make this happen. Do y'all see it?
Not yet.
Not yet. The suspense.
I know. Am I doing it right? You guys see it now?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Hold on. Well, let me start over if I didn't do it right. Sorry, guys.
No problem.
Let's see. There it is. Okay, let's do this one more time. See it now?
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Can you guys hear it?
I don't hear anything.
I can.
Cool. I couldn't hear any of that, so if anybody else couldn't, supposedly you're supposed, if it's a good film, you're supposed to be able to watch it without the sound and it still makes sense. So who knows?
Now I could hear it. Could you hear it, Aisha? I can't even hear you though.
Oh yeah, I think she's muted.
I couldn't hear it on my end.
You can hear it on your end. Okay, well, you know what?
You get
I
the
will put
gist.
the link if
Yeah.
people can't hear it. I will send the link out. But I could hear it. I
Oh,
mean,
thank
but
you.
it's my computer, so you know. So. But it's good. I mean, it's so cool. Okay, so I'm so excited about the movie, of course. Now, I don't want to do any takeaways or you know kill anything, but I felt so sorry for him. I mean, it's like he was like the victim the whole entire time. So
Yeah.
any particular reason why there was no happiness in this family? The father, you know, his whole family was just sad.
Yeah. I mean, when I started writing it, you know, the movie is about mental health and mental illness and not talking about it and what that can do to family, to people, to the ones you care about. And personally, you know, as I was writing this film, that was something I was dealing with and struggling with and trying to kind of get a grip on, and kind of constantly searching for an answer that was going to make everything fit into place or make me feel like I figured it out. So as the movie progressed, I think a lot of the story and the structure of the movie kind of takes that on, where it's sort of trying to just figure out a mystery that is difficult to solve because the folks who are involved are so disconnected and disengaged and unwilling and unable to talk to each other,
Right.
that it's hard to get to the bottom of it, you know? And, you know, Charlie, who plays the lead, or Adam Helferty, who plays the lead character, Charlie, he's acted in a couple things that I've done, but like, he's not a trained actor. He hasn't really done much. He's kind of a musician first. And I'm a big fan of his music and his lyrics, especially. And his lyrics are super vulnerable and super personal, and yet he's still able to go out on stage and kind of put himself out there. And I've always admired that about
Yeah,
him.
that's
So
cool. Yeah.
when it came to this character, I knew I wanted Adam to be that guy, and I knew him and I are really close friends. So we talk about, you know, how we're feeling and whatnot all the time. And we connected a lot on this idea of just like, you know, feeling alone a lot of the time, not knowing how to talk to people about it, especially family. And it can just feel like you're super trapped and that there is no escape. So we tried to put all of that in the movie, and as maybe grim as that sounds, I hope the movie gets to a point that there is hopefulness within it, because when you are feeling alone and you are struggling with this stuff, something to learn and to experience is that you are able to reach out to people and ask for help. Like, it isn't a sign of weakness if you need help dealing with stuff.
Right.
Where when you're in it and you're in the thick of it, it's really hard to get yourself to answer a phone call, you know, because it just feels like the day might be impossible. So although the movie is, you know, kind of bleak, I hope there is hopefulness within it. And if you finish the movie, you walk away with anything, it's like, you know, maybe it'd be a good time to call your friend, call your mom, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's feeling like that sucks. And it feels like there's no way out, but like it passes. And asking for help is one way to kind of get there.
Yeah. Well, I thought that the husband was very supportive. I mean, on both ends. I mean, he was supportive to the wife and he was supportive to the brother-in-law. And I just thought his character was just so cool. It was,
Yeah, I think we needed a character like that, because without it, we have just characters completely avoiding and communicating with one another. So I imagine that movie could be very dull. So Ryan Katner, who plays that character, Benjamin, it's funny. He's a musician as well. He's an incredible performer. And he's like the leading man of this group called Man Man that puts on like really fun, exciting shows. When shows start to happen again, go check them out. It's like they have like 9 people on stage and they wear costumes and stuff. And but it's so fun. It's so engaging, and he's really good at like, he's the one with the microphone, so he's getting everybody involved. So I kind of knew that I could, put him in scenes where the characters aren't really giving him much because they are too in their own head.
Right.
And I could trust Ryan to do whatever he could to try to pull something out from these people, even if it's thankless and, might be a little nagging and a little annoying. I think we've
But
all
that's
had,
what you love about them,
Totally. Yeah. We've all had those people in our lives, or we've been those people where you're trying to help and you're kind of just getting in the way, but it's coming from a good place. So yeah, Ryan is, he also hasn't acted in much. So I hope people see that this guy is like, he's an incredible musician and performer on the stage, but he's also really good if you put a camera in front of him. So I hope he gets to do more stuff after this.
Yeah, most definitely. So what was your favorite part of the project?
Oh man, that's a good question. I've been thinking about that a lot recently, just because, it's been about 2 years kind of since the start to now where it's released. And for a lot of films take a lot longer to kind of get out there. So I feel super grateful that it's out, but 2 years is still like a long time to be trying to push this thing that, the odds of getting it out never feel like they're in your favor, and just finishing it is a task in itself. But if I think about where I enjoyed myself the most, it was like the 1 or 2 weeks before we started filming, where Michael Lincoln, the DP who filmed the project, him and I kind of just locked ourselves in his apartment and went through the script and broke down every single scene and tried to figure out like, how can we tell this story in as few amount of shots as possible, because on one end, like, we didn't have a lot of time to do it, so we knew we had to move fast. But also, I very much like movies that the filmmaking is a part of the experience of watching it, So we tried to not do traditional coverage of like a wide shot, then a medium shot, then a close up, and we wanted the photography of the film to kind of work in tandem with the story that was happening and the feeling that we were trying to convey through picture and sound and all that stuff. So sitting and really shaping the movie was really fun, because it finally became like, okay, it's not just words on the page. We now have like a game plan to turn this into something. And Michael is just a very smart, articulate, creative person. And he always pushed me to explain like, well, why do you want that shot? Or why does it have to be shot that way? And it's like, dude, it's going to be cool. Like, let's just do it. And it's like, he was very integral in, kind of finessing and fine tuning, like, okay, so what is the meaning of this scene? Why is it there? How can we take that and film it in a way that kind of pushes that to the audience? So, and I don't know, he's an Australian guy too. So he just like has like this really good energy. And whenever I would be tired or like, oh man, I don't know, he was very good at just like lifting up the spirits and kind of making me laugh and making me like enjoy what we were doing. So
That's
yeah,
good.
that was a lot of fun.
It's good to have support, and without
So
that support,
important.
it makes it so hard.
Yeah. Because writing, a lot of the times you are alone and it's like, oh man, will anybody see this? It's very easy for self-doubt to just like take over. And I imagine that's why a lot of people, either don't start their script or they don't finish their script. But if you can kind of push yourself and also try to find people that inspire you and, believe in you. It really helps you kind of push it forward.
Yeah. So what type of projects are you going to be working on in the future? Is it going to be more horror, or what are you going to work on?
Yeah, I think a lot of, like, because of my upbringing in Massachusetts, I don't know if either of you have spent any time there, but it's like inherently kind of a spooky place. I feel like New Orleans has that too, where it's like,
Yeah.
there's just this feeling of like, this place is so old. There's so much history here.
Yeah.
And granted, there's a lot of places in the world that are like that, but just growing up there for me, that was something that excited me about living there. Like Halloween was always so scary and felt like this is where Halloween takes place, is like in this town. And like cemeteries and stuff that are down the street from where I grew up are, they date back from like the 16 to 1700s.
Wow.
So that, I don't know, that was something that I always liked being around. So writing stories that take place or have an element of horror is something that it excites me. So I want to continue doing that. I don't know, if it's, like with this movie, we tried to make something that wasn't like a traditional horror movie. We're trying to pull from different genres and, really trying to focus on creating interesting characters. So I want to continue doing that, but for sure continue trying to do some little scary moments as well, because as a viewer, I love watching that stuff.
Aisha, do you have anything for Matthew?
I actually have a message for him. I don't know if you're open to receive that.
Sure,
I'm
yeah,
psychic.
as long as it's not like, oh, you're psychic.
Yes.
Are you really? Uh-oh.
Yes.
Like, is this gonna reveal something that like I need to?
No, nothing
Okay.
bad.
Okay.
No, nothing
I've been
bad.
to a psychic once in my life, and I enjoyed the experience,
Yes.
but I was kind of young.
Yeah, it can be intimidating and scary, but this message, I just wanted you to know, because when you said that you were alone, so you have a lot of guides surrounding you, particularly angels. Like they've been touching me this whole time, and they wanted you to know that they are surrounding you, and you can ask them for help. So when it seems that you are alone, you're really not. And even though you can't see them, you can still experience them through your work and everything that you do. And you can ask them for help. They'll open doors for you. And as a matter of fact, they have blessings on the way for you.
Oh man,
So I
thank
want you
you
to,
so much.
yes, I want you to know.
That's so sweet. I mean, yeah, I'm sure we've all lost people in our lives, but I always struggled with learning how to cope with things like that, and avoidance was the best way. It's like, stay busy, stay working. Just keep moving forward, and you won't think too much about it. But that's something I've been trying to slow down and, appreciate and allow myself to feel those things more. So thank you so much for saying that. That means a lot.
Wow. Well, thank you, Miss Aisha. So, okay, Matthew, is it anything else you would like to share? What type of nuggets could you give someone who's starting off trying to do the same thing that you're doing?
Yeah. I think the big thing is like, don't wait for permission. Don't ask for permission to do your thing. Like if you want to go and make a film, if you want to go write music, go and do it. I think for a long time, I was too scared to kind of make the attempt, because I was scared to fail. I was scared people wouldn't like it. I was scared I wouldn't be good. Whatever it is, it's like, you just got to kind of trust yourself. And if you're really excited about an idea, whatever that is, it's like someone out there, I got to believe, is going to connect to it too. And that in itself is worth doing. So, the process is always scary and there's always self-doubt, but like you just got to kind of keep doing it, and take deep breaths and go for walks if you have to.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you being on the show. I'm going to attempt to do the trailer again and see if we can fix it with the sound. And if not, like I said, we'll post it up again. But Matthew, anytime you want to come on the show, you have friends here. I'm in Virginia Beach. She's in Dallas, Texas. We will always receive you and we will always support you. So just let us know what projects you're working on. We'll be there for you.
Awesome. It's so nice to meet the both of you. Thank you so much for your time and for watching
All
the
right.
movie.
It's
Let's
been
look at the
wonderful.
trailer one more time, guys. If Kimmy can get it right, how about that? Let's see. Okay. Share audio. I think that's where I messed up before.
Oh, there you go. They never make it easy.
I know. Let's see.
Yeah.
A wasp nest at the house. And I've gotten rid of that thing about half a dozen times now. Charlie? It wasn't a big deal at first.
Hey, Charlie.
But then there was other things like
Charlie.
window screens, doorknob.
Charlie?
I don't think it wanted me to leave the house.
If you're going to stay in that house, get rid of whatever don't make you happy.
I'm working on it. My dad left a lot to do.
I've been thinking about the car. About selling it?
We just got the car. Why do we want to sell it?
Dad's car.
You really should talk to your brother about this.
It's not his decision.
Finally got back to me, huh? This thing is going to destroy you, just like it did your father. Leave before you hurt anyone else.
What is this?
These are my brothers. Your father would have been here too if he didn't kill himself.
What were you building back there?
Well, they think you can see things that aren't real.
Who says it isn't real?
Follow me, will you? You followed here?
Do you know anyone who lives around here?
Yeah.
Welcome off the land. Do you know where that is?
This is our family. We are.
Charlie, come on. Just look at me. Come on. I'm gonna get you out of here, all right? I'm gonna get you out of here.
Close the casket! Close it! Goddammit, close it!
Yay, it worked.
Well, you guys, if you are in, it's on DVD. In order to see this movie, you go to DVD. Where other places can they see it, Matthew?
It's streaming on Amazon and Apple TV and Vudu and YouTube and Google Play and Vimeo. So go and check it out, please.
Please do.
Appreciate
Okay,
it.
again, thank you, Matthew, for being on the show. We'll see you guys next time right here on SKSTradio.com. Bye-bye
Thank you
now.
both. Bye.